Like we said, we are going to venture into the scientific. I said we learn about protein, enzymes, vitamins, hydrogen ion concentration. We learn about all these things, but for what? We didn't know these things in the forest. But the language I just used came out of the scientific world. Protein. You should have your protein. Did we have protein in the jungles? The answer is no. We didn't have any of that. We had fruits, leaves, and roots that we ate that kept us healthy. And even up until the last century, when Leni Riefenstahl went to Sudan and began recording the Nuba, she saw some very healthy people, and all you need to do is buy the last of the Nuba. They didn't have any machines to develop their muscles. No, they did exercise because they didn't do that. They don't do that. All those things now, exercise and machines to develop your muscles. When you take a look at the Nuba, and then you look at someone that does these exercise, their bodies seem to be very much developed, but the legs is not consistent with the proportion of their body. Not in proportion. But the Nuba, like he was chiseled. So it isn't a machine nor exercise that help us to reach that level of physique that we're looking for. It is the food that you eat. Well, if we believe that the food that we eat doesn't play a role in any way in our lives, think about this before we proceed on. You see, to understand what Urwa is bringing to us is to put things in their proper perspective. So Urwa teaches that you will not find a tiger in Africa, nor you would find a llama in Canada. You will not find lions in Central America because geography and temperature dictates where that gene would be procreated. Again, we repeat, you will not find tigers in Africa, nor you will find the llamas in South America. But when the history is told to us, because remember, we're so vulnerable, they tell us everything, and we have to believe. So they tell us that creation began in Africa. But that contradicts Darwin's theory of evolution. Well, I am not concerned with Darwin's theory of evolution or any other historical documentation if it wasn't an African, because it doesn't make sense that all life began in Africa. Well, we ask the question with our African sense, if all life began in Africa, Chinese, Arab, Eskimos, white people, and black people came out of Africa? Well, how did it start it? That all these different complexions exist. Are you telling me that all life began in Africa as far as Homo sapiens is concerned? But when we look at that particular philosophy or that particular giving, that doesn't apply to any plants and animals. Why should it apply to us? And what applied to those natural animals and plants applies to us. But they're telling us no. It's different with Homo sapiens. We all came from Africa and then distributed. We all were born in Africa. Well, I asked the question, were we all white or black? Chinese or Eskimo in the beginning? Because now we have those races and different genes. Does it make sense? Because if it all began in Africa, we all would have the African gene. But it's not so in reality. When you take a blood test, you would know whether it is a black man, European, or Asian. So where this theory came from, that it all began in Africa. Well, if it all began in Africa, what color were those two original folks, or whoever started it? Because when they went to Europe, they got white from being black. And the black man that is black, what was he before? You see, it just could get confusing. Just like the animals, the plants, we obey that natural call of life. Nobody began in Africa but the black man. That's where nature placed him. You did not find Europeans in Africa 2 centuries ago. Well, what happened? They left? They left Africa? Well, something about that too that is questionable. The relics, the anthropological relics that you discovered that was white while they were there. And after creation, how long did they live in Africa before they began to walk across the desert into Europe? You see, the white man came from Europe, the black man came from Africa. The Eskimo came from Alaska. The Chinese came from China. The Maya came from Central America. Well, is the Maya part of this arrangement? Did he walk the ocean, cross the ocean to come over here? No, he was bedded right here.